Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Girl in Love with Tech podcast. My name is Rachel Rabo. I'm a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador and a Microsoft MVP, which is amazing because I got started from being a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador to being a Microsoft MVP. And our special guest for today is Pablo. Hi, Pablo.
Hey, Rachel, thanks for having me. Thrilled to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. And I'm really excited to interview you and ask you so many questions about the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thrilled to be here. My name is Pablo Veramendi. I am the Global Director for Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors. I've been in this role for the past 5 years now, and really honored and humbled to be able to lead this incredible global program of students across 123 countries right now. So it's really an honor for me to do that, and honor for me to be on this podcast to be able to talk about it. That for those that aren't aware, the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors is a global community of university students that are passionate about technology and passionate about sharing that tech with their peers at their university and in their communities. And we give all kinds of benefits. We'll get more into that, but really excited to be here.
Yeah, and it's pretty amazing. Yeah, and you want to be a part of it. Definitely. And this podcast is streamed live on my LinkedIn, on Twitter, and also on YouTube. So anywhere you are streaming this particular podcast, please do well to ask your questions and share to people around you so they can listen also and benefit from this. Yeah, so
Absolutely.
yep. And I think you have explained a bit about the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program because I feel that a lot of people are not aware, especially students. At least for me, I'm a good example of that. Before I got to know about Power Platform, and it was from learning about Power Platform, the event I attended, that I got to know about the program. So I understand that there are a lot of people out there who do not know about this program, and you are definitely missing a lot from it. So what do you say is the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program?
So I mean, as I mentioned, it's for university students. It's really for students that are passionate about technology and wanting to share that passion, lift up their community, show them what they're able to accomplish with technology. It's also free. There's no. It's a volunteer program. We give all kinds of benefits for students to enable them, to empower them, as our vision, mission and vision of Microsoft is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to do more. And I really feel like. I see ambassadors doing that every day, and I hear from them about how they're doing that every day. And it's really an incredible opportunity for any university student to really take that first step into technology. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be a coder. Really, what I tell ambassadors is if you have technology in your career path, which nowadays is everybody, that the ambassadors is a good place for you to be because you can learn about everything across the Microsoft stack of technologies and services. And so, and it's really about really empowering you to be able to go out and empower your communities. And so we want our ambassadors to skill themselves and build a portfolio and build up their resume. And so that when they're ready and they graduate, they're ready for the workforce, they have that step above other students that aren't in a program like this, and also to then share that passion with their communities and show other students across the globe what they can do with technology. And in this era of AI, I can't imagine it not being more important, right? Because it's people aren't learning about AI. It's so new that they're not really learning about it in university. And this program and community gives you that opportunity to have that hands-on experience and really, build with others, build your own community, build your brand. As you can see, Rachel here, who has done a fabulous job with that as an ambassador, as an MVP, as a full-time employee now. And it's really incredible to see what students are able to accomplish as ambassadors.
Yeah, it's really amazing. And I think most people, some people, they have this misconception where they think that they actually have to be studying a related tech course in school, like computer science, anything related to tech, in order to be a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador. What do you think about it?
Yeah, that's. But thank you for bringing that up. You don't need to be a computer science or even an engineering. As I mentioned, if you have technology in your career path, which is essentially everybody today, there's a path for you. As Rachel mentioned, she started with Power Platform, and
Yeah.
that's low code, no code. You don't need to be a developer in Python or C Sharp or .NET or a Rust or anything like that. We have a path for you, even if you don't want to be a coder, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's just a lot of opportunity as a student to take advantage of in the ambassadors community.
Yes, and I think there's one thing I love about the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program is that even though you want to go for a technical or a non-technical space, everything is there for you. It's really, really amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, we have all of our ambassadors. So today there's over 4,000 in
Wow.
Microsoft Teams. And so they're
Yeah,
all
that's
interacting
amazing.
and learning from each other and engaging with each other, hosting events from,
Yeah.
they may be from different countries, but hosting an online event together, working on AI projects, which is a quarterly, every 3 months, we have kind of
Yes.
a little mini hackathon within the ambassadors community where you can
Yeah.
build with your peers. And then we have a demo day where our cloud advocates will actually evaluate and give you feedback on what you've built. And then we have a competition, the Imagine Cup, which wrong side, the Imagine Cup, which we just had, and Rachel was there for it at Microsoft Build. And
Yeah.
it's another opportunity for university students to take their
Yes.
idea and form a startup and bring it to life. And all these things are free. And what I hear time and time again is, oh, I wish I knew about this sooner. Or, I wish
Yeah.
I was aware of it. And just for the sake of the Imagine Cup, I think this upcoming year is going to be the 23rd year of the Imagine Cup.
That's amazing.
Ambassadors, I don't like. We used to be called the student partners, and that was for at least a decade, and we've been ambassadors for 4 years now, and so over 14 years, the ambassadors community has existed as well in
Yeah.
different names, but and so it's really an investment for Microsoft in students across the globe, giving them opportunities, giving them a platform to achieve more, and then not only for themselves but also for their communities, and to lift them up and get them excited about what they can accomplish with Microsoft technologies.
Yeah, and that nothing is impossible. It's so amazing. Yeah. Hi, Taro. Okay.
Hi, Tao.
So the next question I have to ask you is that why I think you actually explained a bit in this last question, but I want to ask why was the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program created?
So it was created before my time. So I can't tell you exactly what people were thinking at the time it was created 14, 15, 20 years ago. I don't know exactly how long it's been in existence, but from what I understand, we saw a gap that students didn't have opportunities to learn about our products and services. That we really a lot of it was targeted for professional developers, right? And so the MVP program has been in existence for longer than ambassadors, and that's really again for professional developers, right? And so there was this gap that was seen, like, how do we get students excited about what we're doing at Microsoft? How do we get them using our products and services, and how do we get them to not want to share that, but how do we get them to share that with their peers? And so it's really about providing that platform, providing that opportunity for students. Again, it's free. What I always tell ambassadors, you get as much out of it as you put into it. And so, but obviously you need to balance that with your university and what you're studying and all that as well.
Yeah.
But it's really about empowering them and making sure they have these opportunities for themselves and for their communities.
Yeah, and it's so amazing. I think there's one thing too that with being a student, after finishing school, the next thing we think about getting a job.
Yep.
We think about starting life because I feel that when you finish school, that is when you actually start life. Maybe earlier, but that's when you say, okay, this is finally the stage. But with the MLSA program, the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program, it gives you the ability to be able to collaborate with different people from different parts of the world. Because in now, the world we are right now, when looking for a job, they ask you for projects, they ask you for previous experiences, like what experience do you have in this technology? They try to find out your skill set, how you think, and how you do things. And this particular MLSA program, the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program, it allows you to achieve all of this. Because me, when I started looking for a job, like when I wrote my CV, I actually added the activities I did on my Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador program, the activities, the contributions I did, I added it to my CV, and it's still on my CV. So, it's,
Absolutely, and that's something that
yeah,
students are always asking for. They want the hands-on experience that they're not necessarily getting at the university, and it's something that makes a resume stand out, right? Whether it's for a job at Microsoft or Google or Amazon, whatever that is, being part of this community, skilling yourself. One of the benefits we can talk more about later is certification. So we have vouchers so that you can take a certification exam for free at no cost to you. So you can add that to your resume. Working in this AI projects group, you can add that team, working on a team and building something together. All those things, when I'm hiring for roles at Microsoft, that's what I'm looking for, right? People that have worked on teams, people that have that experience, that have that learn from mistakes, learn from
yeah,
others, right? And so and that's all things that you can do as an ambassador, and that we encourage with the ambassador community, as well
yeah,
as just having experience using cloud technology, having experience using AI technology. I mean,
yeah,
if this is all new to you, imagine you can say that you have a certification in the fundamentals of AI, like
yeah,
when you graduate from college, right? I think that there's just so much of, and I always tell ambassadors, whatever you're doing, like is something you need to put in your resume, right? It's something you need to put on your LinkedIn. We have
true.
badges and certificates that you get as you progress through the program. Put those on LinkedIn, put those in your resume, because
Yeah,
those are individual achievements that each student as an ambassador accomplishes, right? And that's what employers want to see.
yeah, and it's amazing. It's really, really good. Yeah. So, the next question I want to ask you is, what's the benefit of the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program to students?
I mean, I think the primary benefit is the community, right? And being part of this global community of students and all different levels of technology, learning from them, learning from each other, and working together to for the betterment of the globe, right? Of the community in general. But outside of that, there's a lot of other benefits. When you join, when you get invited into the program, you get Visual Studio Enterprise, which essentially gives you $150 of Azure credits every month.
Yeah,
So you can, whatever you're learning within the program or on Microsoft Learn, you can actually put that into practice in your own environment, and then you have that as a portfolio, and you can say, "Hey, I've done this. I've created an online website. I've created a machine learning platform or whatever that is." And so that's in $150 of credit a month. That goes a long way. You
yeah,
also get access to Azure OpenAI, which everybody knows OpenAI and ChatGPT. Well,
yeah,
this essentially gets you access to all of OpenAI services through
yeah,
Azure, which is a more just higher security, more protected environment,
yeah,
but gives you that access too, right?
yes,
Beyond that, you get access to our community on Teams. Once you've hosted your first event and it's approved by our team, then you
yeah.
get a swag kit where you get a T-shirt. I keep on lifting the wrong side. You get a T-shirt. You get I'm doing the wrong side. You get a water bottle,
Yes,
and you get stickers that you can give out at your events. And also we have incentives that you can give at your events. So LinkedIn Premium, as well as Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, both
yeah,
for the ambassador themselves for hosting the event, but also for those that are attending to really encourage them to attend. So if you're
yeah,
hosting an event on the fundamentals of AI, you can say, "Hey, I'll have LinkedIn Premium passes to give out at this event."
yes,
Now, it doesn't go to every single person. You can raffle them off, but it's another way to get people to get excited about attending your event, whether it's online or in person. And so,
yeah,
and then beyond that, we have as I mentioned, all of our ambassadors are Microsoft Teams. We have our cloud advocates and our program teams coming into Teams to teach you about the newest technologies at Microsoft, to train you up on that, so that you can learn for yourself, and
yeah,
b bring it to your community and show them what they can accomplish with it as well.
yeah,
And then we ask for feedback. So products that you use every day,
yeah,
Microsoft wants your feedback as a student and how you use it and how to make it better. And so we have what we call bug bashes, where you can participate and look for bugs within the product, or give feedback within the product. And that's, again, something you can put in your resume, right? You help
yeah,
Microsoft
yes.
fix a bug in a product. Like that's
That's
a
a very
big deal.
big thing when you add it to your CV. Yes,
Absolutely. And so
yeah,
then there's mentorship within the program, both from community members and from folks at Microsoft. There's all kinds of opportunities like that. I mentioned the AI projects that we have that you can participate in as well. And then essentially we're looking for the ambassadors that are the most active, that are building community, that are trusted within the ambassadors, that are mentors, that are leaders within the ambassadors community, and we nominate them as our gold ambassadors. And that's really the next level, which Rachel was a gold ambassador as well. And so and that's the next level, that gives you even more access. You signed a non-disclosure agreement, and then you can join what's called a product group interaction with MVPs, right? And so gold ambassadors alongside industry professionals, learning about the newest technologies, learning about what's coming in the roadmap, all that you can't talk about because you've signed an NDA, but you become an insider at Microsoft, and you get that insider access, and you have the key opportunity to provide feedback. And our product teams want to know how students and young professionals want to use our products, right? Especially in this age of AI and co-pilots, we need your perspective. We need student perspective on that. And then of course there's another swag kit that we get sent out with gold ambassadors as well, with more stickers and things that you can give out, a hoodie and headphones and whatnot. And so it's really just another way to thank all of our volunteers, ambassador volunteers, for what they're doing within the community. And then, as a gold ambassador, you can get mentored by an MVP. And the intent there is that we want you to stay as a community leader. And so once you graduate, you can be nominated as MVP, as Rachel was, and then become an MVP. And then you can continue building community, being a leader around technology in wherever you are. And that'll obviously, well, I hope it's obvious, will help you get a job, and it's something you put in your resume, and will help kind of accelerate you to that next stage of your career.
Yes, I was recently talking to someone from the Nigerian Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program community, the community in Nigeria, and he was saying that anywhere you mention being a Microsoft Learn Student Ambassador, there's respect. There's like a global recognition. Yeah, so it's really, really amazing.
Yeah, and I think that also it's how much you put into it too, right? And obviously, as your classes change and you're going through different semesters, some semesters you'll be able to invest more time, other semesters not as much. But really, the more you put into it, the more you get out of it. We have blogs. So I mean, everybody has blogs, but we have a Microsoft branded blog site that ambassadors can post blog entries on. So another opportunity to build your brand and build your recognition online as well on a Microsoft site, right? All of our ambassadors are on. If you go to studentambassadors.com, you click on search, you can search for ambassadors in your area, and you can just reach out to them. You can add them as a connection on Facebook. Facebook too, LinkedIn, and Twitter, or X, I guess. And so there's just a lot of opportunity around that as well. And so, I think it's super important just to know about that this exists, right? And that anybody can really be a part of it. And what's really inspiring for me from Rachel is, that women in tech, right? We really want and need more women in tech, and more of that of your perspective, and more of your feedback on what we're doing. And so Rachel's been inspiration to me and to the community as a woman who's not only in tech, but also sharing that passion with her community, with her network, in her podcast. And again, that's why I'm honored to be here. And I really hope that, for all the women that are out there that are watching this, you can be an ambassador. You can be part of the Imagine Cup. There's nothing that should be stopping you from doing it. Just take that first step. Go to the website and click on register now. And you have Rachel as an inspiration. And there's tons of women in the program that would be happy to talk with you. If you go to the search again on studentambassadors.com, look for women from your country, or from even some of them may even be in your university or your region. And so, I encourage you to reach out to them, and I'm sure they would be thrilled to hear from you and give you some guidance on both their experience as an ambassador and how you can best take advantage of the program.
Yes, and from all the benefits you mentioned, apart from that, there are so many other benefits. Like, I could give a few examples, especially when it comes to soft skills. It gives you the ability to be able to speak clearly, like, because you host so many events and you are teaching people, you are talking with different people from different cultural backgrounds and different countries. You have the opportunity to work with different people, like collaborate, because these are things that companies they look out for. They want to know how you can work in a team. It gives you the ability to be able to work on presentation, give presentation, work on demos. It's there's some the opportunities are limitless. Like, it's amazing.
Oh, I
Yeah,
appreciate that. Yeah, it is. It is. And again, I think that it's what you put into it too, right? And
yeah,
those opportunities are there if you seek them out or you take advantage of them. And it's incredible the opportunities are. And the soft skills, yeah, it's
yeah,
definitely something I didn't mention directly, which is a
yeah,
huge benefit because I know so many ambassadors that they started and like I can't host an event, I can't speak in front of people, but
yeah,
being an ambassador gave them that confidence and that respect. I think that when they stepped on the stage or when they started the Teams or the Zoom meeting or wherever they ended up doing it, that they're considered the expert in the room, right? And so people are looking forward to hearing from them. And so many of them have told me like, yeah, I would never have expected to be speaking in front of, maybe first it's 15 people, but then by the end of the program it's 200 or 400 or 500, and it's building that confidence and just practice, right? Like I wasn't comfortable speaking in front of hundreds of people, before I joined Microsoft, but it is the confidence that, hey, they hired me to do this job. They know I can do it,
yeah.
and it gives you that confidence to kind of step out and present and build those soft skills. Yeah.
Yes, and there's so much support in the community. For me, what has, like, I started my journey in 2021, and what has helped me so far and keeps helping me is being a part of the community and having that opportunity to be a student, because when you are learning about something or you are trying to achieve a goal, and then you be in the midst of people who are ready, and they are students like you, it gives you the motivation to, okay, nothing is impossible. Students, somebody like me out there is doing something, and they are students, I can speak to them freely no matter wherever they are in the world, so I can achieve this too. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can partner up with other ambassadors. Maybe you're not comfortable the first time you're doing your event, so maybe, hey, can I partner with you on your event and just kind of see how you do it? We have all kinds of train the trainers, we call them, which are videos of cloud advocates or other gold ambassadors hosting events. You can learn from them, and also there's no prescribed way or perfect way of doing anything, right? I hope everybody gets to understand that in the world, right? Like, there's no like exact recipe on how to present or how to speak to many people, and so you need to put your own spin on it too, right? You need to put your own stamp on that, and so maybe for some they're super technical and they want to go in and do live coding on their sessions. Great. Others, they can just go to Microsoft Learn and pick a module or a learning path and walk their community through that, right? And just be
Yes.
there for support, but show them, hey, this is how you can learn. If you have questions as you go through this, I'm here to support you, but like, let's walk through this together, right? So,
Yeah.
there's it's really the whole spectrum of both, the skills that you have or may not have already that you can build, or like how technical you are, and there's no exact recipe. You don't need to do exactly what the cloud advocates do. You don't even need to do exactly what a gold ambassador does,
Yeah.
or any other ambassador. Just learn, right? Learn from them. That's what I've done at Microsoft,
Yeah.
my comfort level in speaking in front of people or doing podcasts, or we just had our town hall and had almost 300 ambassadors on that yesterday,
Yes.
and it's because I learned from others, but I integrated it and made it my own, right? And
Yeah.
so don't ever feel like you need to do things exactly like anybody else, because you're never do them exactly like somebody else. You'll do
Yes.
them the way you need to do them, right? And so, and
Yeah.
what's great about the ambassadors community is there's just the diversity in people, the diversity in cultures, the diversity in individuals that you get to
Yeah.
learn from, right? And you say, oh, I like the way they did that. That's something I want to do. But it's not
Yeah.
the whole thing. It's just that one thing, right? And so, and where we're yeah, and so there's there's a mentorship program within the community too, and there's just a ton of opportunity to learn from others.
Yes, it's really amazing. And if you're listening to this podcast and you have any questions, please, the reason why this podcast is streamed live is an opportunity to be able to answer your questions. So if you have any questions, just pop them on the chat and Pablo will answer your questions.
And I wish it was clear to me. I would have posted on socials. This was live. I thought it was just a recording that we were going to do that you would post later. So
Yeah.
I should have done a little more amplification before. But anyway, that's right. That's right. I'll
Yeah.
amplify it once it's on. Well, afterwards too. So
Yeah, sure, it's fine. Okay, so there's one thing too is that another misconception people have is that especially someone who is just getting, they don't really know what they want yet. Because for me, even when I got to know about Power Platform, there was a point where I did not know what area I wanted to go in because I was seeing so many things, I was seeing so many career paths, and I was kind of confused at that particular stage. So yeah, I understand that there are a lot of people out there and they are like, okay, when I come into the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program, do I have the opportunity to explore, or I need to tell them that okay, I have decided that this is something I want to do when I have no idea. How do you think they can approach that? Somebody that
oh,
does not have a clue on what they should do.
it's all
Yeah.
about exploring. I mean, that's what's great about it. I mean, one thing is at Microsoft, the technology touches almost everything, right? Everything from banking to agriculture to AI to architecture. Like I can't think of any single career that Microsoft technology doesn't touch, right? And so
Everywhere.
also being part of the community, there's a ton of different interests, right? All the students have a lot of different interests, and they're sharing that passion within their communities too, with their fellow ambassadors. And so you learn, like I said again, there's no perfect career path either. Mine. I did not imagine that I would be the like my goal wasn't to become the director of the ambassadors community. I didn't even know about it, right? And so there's no perfect path. You just need to take things from not take but learn from others and integrate that, and then kind of decide what it is you want to do moving forward. Rachel, prime example, going to a boot camp, right?
Yes.
You didn't go to that boot camp hoping that you get the job that you have today, or hoping that you become an ambassador, or hoping that
Yes.
you be an MVP. Like that was not even on your radar. You're like, I just want to go explore and see what this is about. And
Yeah.
then you found passion there. You're like, oh, this is cool.
Fell in love.
Yeah. And that's what I encourage all of our ambassadors to do, is explore. One thing, we're called Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors because Microsoft Learn is the platform where we as the community learn, right? Where you can go and skill up, but also you can use that, share that with your communities for them to learn.
Yes.
But if you go to Microsoft Learn
Yes.
and you look at all the different career paths that they have there, and then for every single one you pick, it has a learning path that you can take and skill up. They have
Model.
security, not modules. It's just like all the different career paths. You can you can be a coder, you can do security, cybersecurity was the word I was looking for. My goodness. You can do developer relations, which is kind of what my role is. Not kind of, is what my role is. And so again, I just encourage you to explore and figure out what it is that you're passionate about, because as I always tell ambassadors, your passion it shows. Like you can see from Rachel on this podcast and other podcasts, and you can hopefully hear from me how passionate I am about this program and about Microsoft in general. And that's what will take you far, right?
Yeah.
And so, and there's no direct path to it. I did not start working at Microsoft right when I graduated from university, not for a long shot. So it's about learning from every experience that you have and integrating that and helping that, or integrating that so that it helps you make your next decision, right? And that you makes the right decision for you. And that's what students can do as an ambassador. They join, they learn both on their own, from others, from cloud advocates, from Microsoft employees, and all this. It's take those little nuggets, right? And they build their own path and what they want to do, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. And we have a question from, I don't want to pronounce your name, so I will not spoil it. So, how to foster engagement in a community that isn't very responsive? Or rather, how do you stay motivated enough to motivate people that aren't all that interested in tech? So,
So what I guess you have to understand, what is the motivation for your community? Maybe take tech out of it, right? Do they want to get a job? Do they want to have a career? Tech is a part of that, right? And so maybe they're not interested in tech, but if they have an interest in something else, there's technology can play a role in both accelerating their path to that and also a learning on their way there, right? And so, years and years ago, I volunteered for a nonprofit that helped inner city students in Chicago succeed.
Yeah.
And I one of the things I want to do is show them how to repair a computer. And
Okay.
they had zero interest in it, like negative interest. They came and they're like, "This is a waste of time. Why am I here?" And so I took apart a computer, and some of them are like, "Oh, that's interesting. It's taking something apart." And I said,
Yeah.
"Hey, okay, I want to show you something. This here. This is not a memory module, and I'm not sure why I have this on my desk, but this computer part, right? I'm
Yeah.
going to put this in the computer, right? So I put it in the computer, and then I closed the computer and I turned it on, and I'm like, can you guess how much Best Buy, which is a store here in the U.S., would charge for that?"
Yes.
And oh, yeah, that's easy. Maybe $10. I'm like, no, Best Buy charges $150 for that.
That's a lot. Yeah.
And they're like, and then suddenly they were super interested. Like, wait, if I learn how to do this, I can make money off it. Like, this is something that, and that's ultimately like, I mean, not that everything is about money, but it's about having a career. It's about building, your future, and tech can help you do that. So it's about keying into like, what is it that they want to do, and then how can technology help get them there and help prepare them for that, right? And so I think you got to kind of take a step back and like, what is really what these people want, right? What they want to do. What we say in Microsoft, what is the value proposition of them being at this event, right? So what is the value that they'll get out of attending my event? And the more you can be upfront and clear about that, and set that expectation, like, you'll learn skills that will help you get that next job, or you'll learn skills that will help you with XYZ. The more people that attend, that will be excited about attending and be there to learn, right? And so it is about setting expectations too, and kind of understanding what is that underlying need that they have, that they want. And that's it's the same with ambassadors. Like, what is the underlying need? They're volunteers, right? They're part of this community. What is the underlying thing that they want to get out of this? It's typically skills and experience for the resume. And so, that is what, that's what we try to kind of get down to the root of when we have people come in to talk about skills or to skill up, or people to talk about new technologies. This will help you get that job. This is something you can put on your resume, right? And so, I think that it's really, what is the kind of, and it's weird to think about it that way, but it was like the baseline desire of your community. Like, what do they need? And how can you connect what you're passionate about and what you want to share with them to that kind of base need?
Yeah, that's an amazing advice. Finding out what they want and working towards that. It's amazing advice. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Yeah.
And one other thing I would say too is that for each of you, like, your community better than anybody at Microsoft does, right? You live there, what they need, what they're going through, and so I can't tell you what you should present on or what technology will be valuable to your community. You can, right? Because you understand that community, and that's that's what I always tell ambassadors too. Is like, this is about taking something you already know, something that you're part of, and understanding what the need is, and then providing something that will help them fulfill that need, right?
Yes, it's really good. Yeah, and another question I have to ask you is that I think I recently did a Twitter space, and that was last week. I started a series where I invite different Microsoft Learn student ambassadors to talk about their personal experiences, because a lot of people, when they reach out to you and they ask you questions about what's the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program, I felt that, okay, there's nothing like when you hear from a current student ambassador. So I recently started a Twitter space, and we had a lot of questions on the Twitter space where people were asking about the application process, and the process has been changed. So if you could shed a little bit of light on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, we changed the process in January. Previously you had to apply, you had to answer questions in English, you had to submit a video of yourself answering a question in English.
Yes.
And what we realized was that, you know, that's a hurdle for a lot of people, kind of a blocker, because they're not
Yeah.
comfortable speaking English, or, you know, English is not their first language. And so we wanted to make the process more equitable and more inclusive and more open to anybody across the globe. And so what we've done now is you register, you say, hey, I'm interested in becoming an ambassador. And
Yes.
then you can either join a Discord community, Microsoft student developer community, or
Okay.
we have a SharePoint page where you can get all the information you need. If you don't want to join, or you can't, some countries Discord is banned. And so
Yes.
where you can get the information about how to essentially become an ambassador.
Yeah.
And what we've done, rather than kind of a subjective application, which, you know, somebody answers a question, and then somebody at Microsoft, we looked at every application, by the way,
Yeah.
and somebody at Microsoft rates their answer, right? That's very subjective, right? Because each person may have a different. I would rate something differently than
Yeah.
Corey or Tracy on my team, and so it's just not always super. That's not that it's not fair. It's just very subjective. And so what we've
Yes.
done, and also people started using ChatGPT to answer the questions, and to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest, like it's like we couldn't distinguish which ones were ChatGPT and which ones weren't, and so it made it really hard to do our job. And so what we've done is we essentially have 3 paths in Discord and that SharePoint. You can be a
Yeah.
community builder, you can be a community influencer, or startup
Okay.
advocate. I'm holding my
Yes.
finger, you can't see them. Three paths. And so,
Yeah.
and within those paths, we have very simple tasks that you can go out and do with your community. And then when you meet a certain threshold of people that engage with those tasks, you get
Yes.
invited to become an ambassador. And so
Yeah.
really what we're doing is what we're asking of ambassadors when they joined the program originally, we're asking people that want to become ambassadors to kind of take those first steps. Show
Yes.
us that you're capable of it, right? Show us that you're capable of building community, or being an influencer, or getting being a startup advocate.
Yes.
And once you reach that threshold, then you're invited in, and then we onboard every quarter. So every 3 months, if you've met that threshold within those 3 months, then you're
Yes.
invited to become an ambassador. And
Yeah.
then that's just ongoing, right? I mean, if you don't meet the threshold within that first 3 months, or maybe you join a month, or you register, like, right, if you were to register today, for example, which I encourage you all to do if you're interested,
Yeah.
the next cohort of ambassadors is in July. So it would be challenging. It's not impossible, but it might be challenging for you to get to those thresholds by the end
Yes.
of June. You have like 2 weeks, right? And so, but you don't have to. You can start now, and then, you know, be ready for what would be the October cohort, right? So June, July, August, September. So, you know, reach those thresholds by the end of September, and then you'd
Yes.
be invited in the October cohort. And so we want really flexibility. We don't want students to, and we don't want them to be anxious about having to answer something in English, and
Yes.
you know, having like maybe your grammar isn't great or whatever, and like. And in some countries, like, you know, we essentially didn't have any applications from Japan and Korea because they just did not want to answer in English, right? And
Yes.
unfortunately, I wish that we could we could have accepted applications in every language, but we don't speak every language. And, you know, in the 123 countries in the ambassador program, there's probably
Yes.
1,000 plus languages spoken, right? And so
A lot.
it would not be scalable for us to be able to review applications in everybody's native language. And so instead, join us on Discord, or the SharePoint site. And once
Yes.
you register, you get a link to both of those things, and you can do either one. And you can track your own progress. So you can, when you post a link to your LinkedIn or to your community about something at Microsoft, you can see,
Yeah.
hey, how's that progressing? How many people are engaging with that content? But,
Yeah.
you know, one thing I would say is, it's not about spamming your link to everybody you know. Hey, click on this because I want to become an ambassador. Because people
Yes.
will not engage. They may click on it, but they won't engage with the content. And it's really about building community around technology, right? And so, or around topics they're interested in. And so, the best way of doing that is saying, hey, I read this amazing blog by Rachel Irivor of MVP,
Yeah.
and it's really interesting. And I think that you would, if you're interested in AI or interested in Power Platform, I think you should read this article. And then,
Yes.
you know, yes, people, not only, it's again the value. What's the value of me engaging with your content, right? So it's about providing that value and setting those expectations. When they click on it, they know where they're going, and they
Yeah.
know that this is something that's going to be interesting to them because,
Yes.
you know, I as ambassador, or Rachel as MVP has written about it, right? And so, just encourage you all, like, when you go and you see what we're asking for, it's about building community. It's not about just getting the link out as many places as possible. It's really about getting folks to engage with that content, because that's what we want to see as an ambassador. So once you become an ambassador and you host an event, you already know how to engage with your community. You already know what they are interested in. You've seen the results of the work that you've done, and you can hit the ground running as an ambassador, and get people excited about what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. And for those who are just joining, Pablo mentioned from the beginning of this call, or from the beginning of this podcast, that you can go to the studentambassadors.com to apply for the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors program. And also you can search for student ambassadors around you, around your region. Maybe you have questions, you can definitely reach out to them to ask your questions, or you can reach out to me on LinkedIn. And I'm currently doing a series on the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors interview series. Yeah, I
Love to hear
started,
it.
yeah, I started a blog post series and also a Twitter series. So you can follow me on Twitter and also on LinkedIn and join us. Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any advice for us?
I think that my advice is, there are so many opportunities out there. Don't wait and just second guess yourself, right?
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, it sounds cool, but I don't know if it's right for me. Just take that first step, right?
Yes.
I think that what I hear time and time again from ambassadors and even Imagine Cup students is just do it. Take that first step. You don't know where you'll go. Rachel, when you went to that, tell the audience, what were your thoughts of signing up for that boot camp, and why did you go to it?
Okay, I went to it because I was looking for something to make me more independent, money. I was looking to be more independent, not to reach out to my parents for anything I wanted. So before then, I have tried a lot of things, but I could not continue them because I had no money to further them. So hearing about the boot camp from my friend, and before then, I really had no idea about careers in tech. That careers in tech was so easy to come into. It was something that I could do. So attending the boot camp and seeing Power Platform, seeing the things I could do with Power Platform, staying for just a week, and I could already build an application, build a workflow, and also think about how to solve a business problem with Power Platform. It was really amazing, and I fell in love. Yeah,
so that's everything we just talked about. What is the base value or the base need that Rachel had was, she wanted to be independent. She wanted a job.
yes.
She took that step of just going and trying it, not knowing, what could come out of it, whether or not it would be something that she would, be super interested or not. And then, taking advantage once she has that passion that she found for it, and really helping that accelerate her career and her journey. And so, again, that's really what I encourage all of you to do is find out, get those nuggets from people, right? Join a bunch of podcasts. She had Scott Hanselman on here not so long ago. He has some great insights in tech and getting into tech. Learn from these people. Again, you're not going to be them. You can't be them. There's not a path to even get their role, right? There's not a path to that. You need to figure out what it is you're passionate about, what you want to do, what the needs are in your community and where you live, and then take all those things you're learning and bring them to the table, right? And so I mentioned earlier, I worked in nonprofits for almost 7 years before coming to Microsoft, right? And for me, that was a big change, right? Going from a small nonprofit in Chicago to one of the largest multinational companies in the world. How am I going to do this, right? How am I going to be able to say the work I did in a nonprofit is going to apply to what I can do at Microsoft? And all of it applied. And in fact, I use specific examples from all of my previous jobs in my interview to get a role, not this role, a different role at Microsoft, but to get in at Microsoft. And because all those things you learn, no matter what it is, if it might be you volunteer at your community to help kids learn how to code, right? That impacts you. That makes you who you are, right? And that's what employers want to know. They don't want to know yes, I got a 3.92 GPA. Lots of people can do that, right? But who are you as an individual, right? And what do you bring to the table what lived experience and learned experience do you bring to what you're doing? And you can get a lot of that out of a community like the student ambassadors. And so the other thing I would say too is that don't try to do everything either. You have to be a little selective.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of student communities out there. There's a lot that you can get involved in your university. Try something, and if you get that, wow, this is cool, like then stick with it, right? But if you try something and it's like, like this is not necessarily for me, then move on to the next thing, right? Or talk to other people that are doing it and see if it, hearing from them helps you feel more inspired. But and then once you're doing something, put as much as you can into it, right? You don't have to put everything into it. You need to finish your university, right? But put as much as you can, invest in it, right? Really invest yourself in that, and then you just get so much more out of it. And so, I guess those are my words of wisdom for the
project. Thank you. And one other thing too is that nothing is too late, because a lot of persons will be like, okay, I wish I heard about the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program earlier. It's not too late. You are a student, apply. You are a student, apply. Nothing is too late. Yeah.
A prime example, Rachel, you applied. What year were you in your university studies when you applied?
I applied in 2022. Because when I got to know about during the boot camp, I got to know about the Microsoft Learn Student Ambassadors Program, because they were ambassadors there who were actually teaching during the boot camp, and I got to know about the program. And they talked about applying. I was like, okay, should I apply? I was kind of dragging my feet on thinking, okay, it's too late. I've not heard about this program for a long time, and I'm now hearing about it. Should I apply? Should I not apply? So I did that. I applied in 2022.
So I mean, there's no right timing for it, right? I mean, the time is when you learn about it and when you go do it, right? It's not it doesn't have to be the right time. We have students that apply in their senior year, right? Their fourth year of university, and they still get something out of it, and they still can put it on their resume, and they still are able to achieve things in less than a year, right? And so don't doubt yourself in that, like, it's too late, or I don't know enough about tech, or like, don't doubt yourself. Take that step, and then again, take full advantage of what you can when you're in the program.
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you
pleasure.
So much.
Again, let me see if I get this right. Chukwuenuku, I think I got it right. She gave you your answer, right? She said, she needed money. She wanted to get money. So that's the baseline desire of what she wants to do, right? And that got her to that event and got her motivated to do it. And sometimes people's base desire is to make a difference in the world, right? And that's mine, right? That's why I worked in a nonprofit for so long, and I saw that there was an opportunity to do that at Microsoft, right? And so I think that you got to figure out what that desire is, and it's going to be different for everybody. But like your community and what they're looking for, and just kind of align what you do, whatever event you're hosting or whatever your links you're posting to that, and learn from them, right? And learn from what works and what doesn't work. So.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, that's much easier. Thank you.
So everyone listening to this podcast, we advise you to go straight to studentsambassadors.com and start now. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Just start, apply, and join the program.
Absolutely. Would love to see you there. Hope to see you all on our future town hall.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Pablo. And
my pleasure.
Yeah. See you all in the next podcast.
Thank you for hosting me, and thank you for being an inspiration to so many.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Yeah.